the double pierce. So the double pierce is this movement. So after you're cut down, the palms turn down and draw back in this fashion. We're not going to do an exercise for this movement because it's very low percentage here, but it's similar to the Wu Sao movement, which you're going to be doing a lot of. So I don't really see the need to do too much work with this. We'll probably look at that later on. However, it is good to look at this movement here, because this one's a super useful one because it's a movement going forwards from a lower hand position. So your hands may be caught off because either A, nothing's kicked off yet and you're caught with your hands down, or B, you may have had your hands forced into a downward position as well. Yeah? They might be held there. So coming up from this position can be a quite useful one, and also the formation of the hand can change to utilize different forms of striking. So, you know, if you keep the finger shape, then of course it could be to an eye strike. If you feel robust enough, you could drive that into the throat as well. I mean, not necessarily the best thing to do when you're starting out because the fingers get quite delicate. However, it can also be changed into a fist. It can be gone across the actual center to use the wrist in a chit sao type motion. So this is actually a pretty good movement to have a feeling for. Now, in application offensively, it's pretty obvious. You know, as I come up through here, you can be coming up to a strike or an eye strike. So this motion there, yeah? Pretty obvious as an offensive. Defensively, perhaps a strike's coming through towards me. I can be, okay, so this side here. Yeah, maybe it's this to come up through there. So you can see how I'm making contact, deflecting and striking through, yeah, to hit. So it can be often in Wing Chun, you block and strike simultaneously, which you've probably started to notice we talk about that a fair bit. So as the strike's coming through, I block and strike at the same time, yeah? Now, once again, that could be an eye strike, or that could change to a palm strike, or that could go through to a chits out of the throat, or it could be like a tan style shape to the throat as well. There's a variety of different options. The point is you want to be going for the valid targets, throat, eyes, etc. Now, they're the two main ways you use it, offensively and defensively. The way it's done in the form is so once you cut down, draw back, it's like this, yeah? So both hands are together, pointing up towards the target. So you're pointing up to approximately eye height and coming up and forward. So from like I said, we'll talk structure, you know, probably through the first few levels, just so you understand the rotations and the movements, because it's useful. But as you progress through the system, you can forget about structure because we want to work from state, which is more powerful anyway. So if we do look at it from a structural standpoint, Carlson's joint rotates the shoulder joint to bring the elbow and fingers up towards the center. There's an opening of the elbow joint simultaneously as well. So as the shoulder joint turns, the elbow joint opens up, and so this angle opens to bring the fingers up towards the center. But you know, this is pretty damn obvious. When you think about structural movement, you just do it and go, oh, okay, that's what's happening. You know, if you want to go deeper into that because you're fascinated by it, then look into the anatomy. There is value to it as well. I've got an orthopedic surgeon who trains with me, and I've had osteopaths that train with me as well, and you know, people who work on the body, physios and whatnot, doctors. And since they have a good understanding of the human anatomy and structure, that can play an advantage initially. Initially, they have a very good understanding of what the structure is like, so they're able to visualize it, able to connect with it, and utilize it in a powerful way initially. But eventually it can actually become a block if they get too caught in the physical and don't start to transition into the energetic and the mental side, yeah? Or even into the spiritual side, into alignment with our spiritual nature. So that's a bit of a understanding on this movement here, the double piercing style of movement. As you get further through the system, when you get up to the third form, thrusting fingers, Bill G, then it becomes a lot more applicable because your structures are more powerful, your connections much more powerful, so you can really start to utilize these finger-style jabs, which I believe was Bruce Lee's favorite move, the lead finger jab. I think it was one of his faves, yeah? Love to poke people in the eyeball, apparently. But anyway, that's a bit of context for you for the double piercing movement. Any questions, you know where to put them, and I look forward to seeing you in our next lesson.